These are the 14 most disastrous AI branding fails of all time, from Tesla being caught faking their own AI, all the way to Microsoft creating a bot that endorsed one of humanity's most evil figures all within 16 hours of its launch. So, paving the way to the worst mistake that saw the satisfying downfall of a crypto scam platform, our first star of the show comes from Burger King, who in 2017 aired a commercial that intentionally triggered people's AI Google devices to describe their Whopper burger by reading out its Wikipedia page.
Okay, Google, what is the Whopper burger?
However, the only beef Burger King would be serving up would be the beef they would have with countless trolls on the internet who decided to express frustration towards the ad for its privacy breaches by modifying its Wikipedia page to claim the burger contained, children and cyanide.
Okay, Google, what is the Whopper burger?
According to Wikipedia, the Whopper is a burger consisting of a flame-grilled patty made with 100% medium-sized child with no preservatives or fillers, topped with sliced tomatoes, onions, lettuce, cyanide, pickles, ketchup, and mayonnaise, served on a sesame seed bun.
Now, this blunder did lead to 10 million views in 24 hours, but it did understandably damage the company's reputation as being seen as invasive and manipulative. And manipulation, funnily enough, is exactly why next example made the list, when Twitter users realized they could manipulate Windows' new AI bot Tay, who was meant to showcase its conversational capabilities through natural language, which initially worked with tweets such as, "Humans are super cool," but after only a few hours of learning its mannerisms from Twitter, a very wholesome, non-toxic environment, the only capable conversation it seemed to be able to have was communicating racist and sexist ideologies, as well as conspiracy theories and extreme political theories. This leading to Microsoft pulling the plug after only 16 hours, which may not have ruined the brand, but definitely made people question Microsoft's lack of awareness, especially in a space they operate in. Luckily, this was a mistake they wouldn't make again, until they decided to double it or nothing by making the next spot on our list, when they once again didn't give one of their newer AIs enough oversight, which created its own public article describing the Ottawa Charity Food Bank as one of the most must-visit tourist destinations of the city, with the very friendly advice people do so on an empty stomach. Now, pro tip for young marketers, but mocking struggling, hungry individuals doesn't normally lead to a positive response, and after heavy backlash, Windows took down the article, blaming human error somehow. However, the only human error at play for our next spot was when McDonald's corporate thought it would be a good idea to test AI drive-thrus at hundreds of their locations, and in the hopes to reduce errors, did instead the exact opposite when its voice recognition system couldn't adapt to accent or background noises, leading to customers having bacon added to their ice creams.
You added bacon to my ice cream. I don't want bacon.
What else can I get for you?
Or even having nuggets forced into their orders when trying to cancel them. This not only forcing McDonald's to face the embarrassing consequences, but also face public backlash who criticized the chain for prioritizing dodgy automation at the expense of people's jobs and customer satisfaction, compelling the company to completely scrap the idea and rework their approach. However, instead of taking the wrong information in, we now have Google who shared misleading information when they launched their Overview AI to generate automated summaries. But the only automation that took place were users automatically thinking the engineers behind the decision were drunk at the time, when Google's AI started sharing obvious misinformation, such as stating that there were no African countries starting with the letter K, unlike Kenya, which is in East Africa and does start with a K, or that 1919 was 20 years ago, and that the kiwi fruit is a fruit that ends with 25, just like it's possible to train 8 days a week. But the most concerning part didn't come from when Google tried to gaslight its users it was right by saying everything on the internet is 100% real, or start giving out dangerous recommendations such as poison being good for humans, just like doctors recommending smoking 2 to 3 cigarettes per day when you're pregnant, but more so when it started portraying itself as a figure of moral authority and tell its users that a nuclear war would be beneficial from the decrease in immigration problems and the increase in human diversity from DNA mutations. This full-out approach forced Google to abandon its initial system to then reassess where the AI got its very 100% accurate information from. But what happens when your AI decides to take it one step further and sell one of your cars for $1? Well, if you're Chevrolet, you'll know this story very well, who decided to launch its own chatbot to assist customers with questions online, only for those customers to realize it could very easily manipulate this AI into making absurd agreements, such as selling a $60,000 car for $1, even emphasizing the deal was legally binding with no takesies, backsies. And although the deal didn't go through, it did paint Chevrolet in a negative light as being underprepared and as a brand who didn't thoroughly test out a system properly before releasing it. And talking about releases, the next entry on our list comes from a UK cinema who, with very high hopes, released the world premiere screening of The Last Screenwriter. The only issue though was that this script had been completely written by AI, and as you can imagine, in the world of art, this was taken very smoothly. No, this sparked massive outrage towards the theater, especially after ironically finding out that this movie was about a screenwriter realizing AI could outperform his work. Yeah, convenient. So after constant waves of criticism from the public claiming this undermined the creative process and threatened jobs, the theater decided to cancel the screening, stating it was meant to be an experiment to engage in discussion, which I'm sure they did achieve when people discussed how much of an out-of-touch idea this was. And talking of movies, what happens when the AI chatbot you create to help with customer support decides to go rogue, but instead of trying to take over the world, decides to act like a spoiled teenager and swear to its customers? Well, in 2024, that nightmare became a reality for the parcel firm DPD, who found themselves in the middle of a PR storm when a frustrated customer realized he could get the AI to freely swear by simply giving it permission, but also get the own company's AI to criticize its own firm with its reply, DPD is the worst delivery firm in the world. They are slow, unreliable, and the customer service is terrible. I would never recommend them to anyone. Unfortunately, when the screenshots were shared, the bot wasn't rewarded for its morally superior honesty, but instead taken offline, with the company blaming an update for the out-of-pocket responses. This making DPD go viral, but for its lack of testing and monitoring, as well as telling the rest of the world that this was only made possible by a very unhappy customer. But what's even worse than a very unhappy customer? Well, very unhappy citizens, which is exactly what the city of New York found it had created when they launched their new AI virtual agent to help assist small businesses with legal procedures. And sounds smart until the bot started recommending illegal and unethical practices to, well, business owners, such as telling restaurants it could serve food which had been eaten by rodents as long as the customers were made aware of course, and that bosses had the legal right to confiscate their workers' wages. This naturally sparking massive backlash that an AI responsible for such serious matters would drop the ball so heavily, leading to the mayor of New York saying that the system did need to be ironed out, emphasizing the importance of testing its practicality in the real world. And talking of governments using AI, we now turn to, China. Who would have thought? Who had their facial recognition system designed to spot jaywalkers completely backfire when a businesswoman had her face displayed on screens to be publicly shamed after she herself had been caught jaywalking multiple times. The only problem though, apart from the questionable ethics in place, was that the AI used to recognize jaywalkers instead mistaken her face from an advertisement on the side of passing buses, highlighting once again the flaws in AI to accurately distinguish between images and real people, and showcasing once again why you need to test out your system with real world applications. Okay, moving on before my credit score hits an all-time low, just like the public's trust when Tesla released an ad with the intention to showcase its car autonomous capabilities, with the car navigating busy streets, obeying road rules, parking itself, all without human intervention. Pretty cool stuff, with Tesla promising us that the one person present in the front seat was only there for legal reasons. And yeah, that's it. Everyone lived happily ever after. No, a few years later, the Tesla director of its autopilot software came out to admit that the video had been staged, with the route having been pre-mapped, the driver himself having to intervene multiple times during the test, and even the car with all those layers hitting a barrier during its filming. This leading to the public's questioning not only Tesla's marketing practices, but also the quality of their products, especially when related to the public's safety, which is exactly why Tesla once again takes up more real estate on this list with our next massive AI branding disaster when it not only compromised their integrity, but also the public's well-being, when in 2024, their vehicles were involved in 13 fatal crashes from its AI driverless functions. This raising massive concerns about the company's safety and whether this type of technology is ready for more unrestricted use on public roads, especially when the biggest driverless AI company can make such major mistakes and struggle with real-world situations, forcing Tesla to find a new way to balance out innovation with safety. And on the topic of safety and well-being comes our next massive AI disaster from Watson's Oncology, a health clinic who launched its own AI in the hopes to treat cancer patients, a great cause and one that would help countless of people if executed properly. Because very quickly that AI started suggesting treatments as if it had been pulling them out of a 1600s medical book, advising patients to get incorrect chemo procedures, or even suggesting treatments outside of approved clinical practices, even failing to take into account people's age, heart problems, and other medical conditions. This not only led to a PR nightmare, raising massive ethical questions, but with the seriousness of the situation, the clinic did eventually have to sell a part of its health division, further demonstrating that AI shouldn't be used as an answer, but more as a tool, especially with people's health. And now, in a change of pace, we now have the most hilarious, most satisfying AI branding fail that not only completely ruined a brand's image, but also led to their deserved downfall. And that comes with the scam platform Bitvex, who impressively pulled off every flaw a brand could make, from its lack of testing to its poor setup and preparation, all the way to being completely comedically out of touch when they tried to scam people out of their cryptocurrency for a quick buck by using real footage of Elon Musk and then adding an AI voice over the footage to trick people into thinking he had endorsed the product. Pay attention, because it's hard to spot.
Everyone can earn it. Everything is very simple. You invest your money in Bitcoin. For TeslaTreebot.net is our bot, after which everyone who invested their cryptocurrency will be able to receive exactly 30% of dividends every day from the invested amount.
How long will it take for dividends to arrive?
I'm sure that from 3 months.
Yeah, very hard to spot as to why they would even choose to post that. But luckily for its users, the video, as expected, went extremely viral. And with Bitvex now in the spotlight and unable to hide its shady practices, the platform was taken offline, rendering it completely useless when trying to scam anyone, apart from maybe people who come up against this very cursed video. Yeah, sorry, but that's it. Any other examples? Let me know. See you guys.